Hello class. In the last video lecture, we had arrived at the expression for the stresses on plate with a hole. So these were the expressions. So this is the final expression. So the same expressions I have in this particular handwritten note, and we will be discussing the interpretations of this. Now, first and foremost, remember to arrive at this expression, we had made an assumption that the plate size is infinite compared to the size of the hole. So that assumption was made in this particular step. So remember, when we are solving these constants, so one of the places in which we made that assumption was in this solution we put a by b equal to 0, which means the size of the hole compared to the plate size is very less, or it means the solution is for infinite plate. So let us discuss the interpretation of these stresses for the plate with the hole and see what happens if you try to apply these formulations for finite plates. Now, first and foremost, as r tends to infinity, you should get back the boundary condition. So remember, again, when we try to solve this problem, see, this is our simplification of the problem, and this particular stresses we had converted it into its polar coordinates, and these were the expressions for sigma r and tau r theta. So as r tends to infinity, you should get back these boundary conditions. So if you look at this expression, if r tends to infinity means you can put this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. You will get back these expressions which are same as our initial boundary condition. Okay, now let us look at the internal boundary condition. So remember, this is a plate with a hole. So at the hole boundary there are no stresses, or sigma r and tau r theta are 0. Okay, so in this expression we substitute r equal to a. This expression also we substitute r equal to a. We will get that both of them are 0. Sigma r and tau r theta are 0. Now when you substitute r equal to a in sigma theta, you are getting the following expression. Okay, so that is what we will be analyzing, because see, as I told you, in this plate with a hole, strictly speaking, on the surface there is no sigma theta. So sigma theta you will get as you move inside the surface. So this is our expression. So sigma theta is s into 1 minus 2 cos 2 theta, where s is the external stress. So let us substitute theta equal to 90 and 270. So theta equal to 90 is this location, theta is equal to 270 is this. Okay, so this is 0, 90, 180, 270. So when you substitute theta equal to pi by 2, what you get is sigma theta, you will get it as 3s, and that is the maximum sigma theta. Okay, so it means due to the presence of the hole, at the hole boundary, the maximum stress is 3 times the external stress. So that will be sigma theta max, and this 3 times s you will get when you substitute pi equal to theta equal to pi by 2 as well as 3 pi by 2. So at 90 as well as 270. Now when you substitute theta equal to 0 or theta equal to pi, which means these locations, theta equal to 0 and theta equal to pi, you will get sigma theta equal to minus s. So the sigma theta is negative of the actual applied stress. So actual applied stress is s. Now let us do more interpretation of this. So sigma theta at at pi by 2, the general expression is this. So what we do is we go back to the original expression for sigma theta and you substitute pi by 2 and you will get this particular expression. So here if you substitute, of course, r equal to a, we will get sigma theta equal to 3 times s, which is what we have already seen here. Okay, that is a maximum stress. And what happens is here you have a square by r square and 3 into a raised to 4 by r raised to 4. So as radius increases, this quantity reduces tremendously. Okay, so as we said, the original expressions of the stresses derived is for infinite plate, but to a great extent it is valid for finite plates as well, because just when you increase the radius a little bit itself, sigma theta will reduce drastically. Because if these expressions are 0, obviously sigma theta will be s, but these are not 0. But as radius increases a little bit itself, these quantities, since you have square term in the denominator and raised to 4 term in the denominator, this will reduce very very drastically, and it will be almost equal to the applied stress s. So that is this. So this is the figure. It is 3s and it reduces to s. So even though these expressions are for finite plates, infinite plate, it can be applied to finite plates with a small error, because the effect of radius, as it increases, sigma theta variation reduces, because it also shows that the effect of hole is actually very localized. Okay, since the effect of hole is very localized, you can apply this for finite plates as well. And it is found that when the width of the plate is not less than 4 diameters of the hole, so you consider the hole diameter as something, and if the width of the plate is lesser, or the size of the hole is larger compared to the width of the plate, such that the size of the plate is not lesser than 4 times this, which means it is a reasonably big hole compared to the size of plate, then the maximum error obtained in calculating sigma theta max is not greater than 6%. Okay, so these are some of the interpretations based on these formulas. Now I have developed a small Excel sheet using which we can see some more sheds more light on this. So here you have a plate subjected to S, which is 10 kilonewton per meter square. So B is 20 centimeters. So you can imagine a 20 centimeter plate in which there is a hole of radius 2 mm. So if that is the case, this will return. These are the expressions for sigma r, sigma theta, and tau. Okay. Now one by one we can vary. So first of all, the solution varies with theta location as well, right? So first thing you can verify is the boundary condition. The boundary condition is this sigma r tau r theta. So as r increases, sigma r and tau r theta should converge to this. So that is what we are seeing. So here this is sigma r, this is tau r theta. So as r becomes maximum, it is 4.998, which is closer to this. It is tau is 5.003, which is closer to this. Now as the plate size increases, means r tends to be infinite, right? So when you do that, the convergence of sigma r and tau r theta is actually becoming closer to the boundary condition. Okay, other than that, what you will see is, even if you change the angle, the next thing that we discussed was the sigma r and tau r theta are 0, because those are the boundary conditions at the hole. So no matter what you do with the angle, you can see that sigma r and tau r theta are 0. They are independently 0. Okay, and the next thing we discussed was that the maximum sigma theta is at the hole boundary and it is 3 times applied stress. Okay, so and that happens at theta equal to pi by 2 and theta equal to 3 pi by 2. So let us give theta equal to pi by 2. See, applied stress is 10 and the sigma theta is 30. Okay, now for better visualization, let us also do the color coding conditional formatting. So here one more thing you can see as we discussed, the effect of the plate, effect of the hole, sorry, is very localized. Okay, so if you look at this, the it is 3 times here at the location of the hole and very shortly, so just very soon afterwards it starts becoming closer to the actual applied stress. Okay, so if you plot this, you can see that. So see, so it becomes closer to the actual applied stress very shortly. Now when the plate starts becoming more finite, or when the width start reducing, what happens is it becomes only gradual, right? So that we have also discussed. So when the plate is more towards infinite, or when the size of the plate is larger compared to the hole, as the size of the plate is increases as compared to the size of hole, the stress concentration strictly becomes only towards the at the location of the hole, and towards the other means as R increases rapidly, it becomes closer to the actual applied stress. Okay, so this is just a small demo. Now is similar to how we solve this particular problem. So remember, this is the solution of this particular problem. Now in addition to this problem, you might have tension in the other side, tension or compression, some other stresses along the other direction. So such problems also can be solved. They can be solved either by superposition, or you can follow the same procedure. So remember, here these stresses we had converted into polar stresses by using this equation. So when you have stress in the other direction, you will have sigma y also. So in the earlier problem, when we substituted, sigma y was 0, only sigma x was there. So this will change, and accordingly the steps in solving will also change a little bit. Okay, so you can either do that, or you can apply the principle of superposition. So I won't be going into details of this. Now this stress concentration due to holes is of great practical importance. So when I was taking class, some basic examples I told you. Other than that, some practical examples are like, when you have a hole in a ship deck. So also you have to understand that ships are also subjected to fatigue loads, it is subjected to cyclic loads by the waves, which result in fatigue cracks. So it becomes significant in the case of ship decks. And also maybe when you have aeroplane wings and fuselages and all, the hole will be a great cause of concern due to stress concentration, and the solutions that were found to around that problem is by adding a bead or a reinforcing ring around the hole. Now this is also something, a topic which some of you can take up, maybe part of your MTech project or something like that. Okay, so let me know. So today's lecture was actually a very simple lecture, although I discussed many things. So it's all about interpretation of this formula and what it means for the problem of plate with holes, both finite and infinite. Okay, if you have any doubts, please let me know. Thank you.